About a month ago, June 15th, I shot a video of the Harbor Freight greenhouse, but the wind was like 20 to 30 mile an hour, and the wind was so bad, the sound quality was so bad, I have to reshoot it. You're going to see the difference here of comparing the two, that it's totally changed since we built this. Actually, we built it last month, and you're going to notice that on this, that 7 years ago, we built the 10.5 by 12.5 foot pad, and the Harbor Freight greenhouse, we had bought it 7 years ago, and we had it sitting right here in this corner, out of the way, with it covered with a tarp, and the mice got in it, and you'll see some stains on the aluminum as we get inside. There's a tractor going by. I want to point out a few things that's very important about this greenhouse that some people never thought about, and that's squaring it up. It's very important that this corner here, and this corner, and all the corners that are perfectly square, because as you put the panels in, it has to be square. And it got a little bit out because I attached this directly to the concrete. I did not use that spacer that's about like this that they recommend putting in the gravel and that stuff. And so your pad needs to be level too. And it's a little bit off, and you can see that as we open this door, this one moves very smoothly. And on this side, because it got kinked a little bit down here, it opens, but very roughly. But the wind won't move that. So I've made a few other changes in here. I put 2 55-gallon barrels, had one before, and these are filled up to about 50 gallons, so as they freeze in the winter they won't bust open the containers. And I wanted to point out a couple things here. This watermelon plant right here was produced here in the greenhouse. Cantaloupe produced in the greenhouse. That cantaloupe there was transplanted. So right now we don't have much going on in here. I have this interesting plant here that my wife planted, and it's some kind of garnishment. Also have peppers that I transplanted from those containers there. And I'm leaving them in here because here they grow better in the heat. And you can see I raised this up a little bit with cinder blocks so we don't have to bend over so much. But I was going to point out the discoloration right here, that letting it set for 7 years. But notice these things right here. Those are washers, and everything is screwed down. Every panel, every part of this. Do you see these screws up here? You can see this tape right here. This is that aluminum self-sticking tape that's on the top of each of these panels, so you don't get this weeping down from the water. And you're going to notice that on the corners here, I put these aluminum on every corner. And the reason being is because we get 60-mile-an-hour winds here, and it's very important that you fasten it. And you'll notice some of the tape sticking down from the top of the panels, because each of these panels has it on there. You also notice that it comes with 4 vents, and I leave the vents open. And we've had some really, really strong winds, and they have not affected these whatsoever. If you want to have a video series that shows how you built this greenhouse, the New England gardener built this, and he shows a step-by-step how he did it. Other than a few things, he did not show how to do the doors, follow the instructions, but keep it level. And so what I've done is I built this base out of 4x4s and 2x4s and some scrap pieces of wood, OSB down there, MDF up here. I put in an electrical system, 30 amp service here from number 10 wires coming in here, 10 gauge. And so this electrical box I have hooked up, but I also have it ready to hook up more wires in here if I need it. And I'd like to put a plug on the outside. Also built this 2x6 box for this exhaust fan It blows it out, doesn't blow it in. And that's just a fan we had in our garage. It's a kind of weatherproof one. And I thought, hey, this is an inexpensive way, and it's on low. But it does get warm in here. Right now, it is 90 degrees. And you also see that I put this hangman's noose here, and that's to hang that grow light right there. So anyway, I'm very, very pleased with this. I'll get this 1/2-inch conduit here that helps support it. A lot of people use that multiple places. Some people I've seen, which I thought was nice, is putting 4x4s in each of the corners and then running 2x4s there so they can hang stuff from above, which is an excellent idea. I chose not to do that. I chose to build this hefty, this thing weighs over 100 pounds, this table. It helps support, because that's the northwest right over there in that corner, and that is where the main winds in the winters come, because the trees won't block all the wind, and this helps support that corner right there very well. I've had no wind problems whatsoever with this, and I've heard of a lot of people that do. So how do I rate this? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this probably about a 8 or 9. I'm very, very pleased. It was $600 and something when I bought it, and I'm very pleased with it. I wish I hadn't waited 7 years to build this, because our gardening would have been so much better if we had to put this up 7 years ago. So you can see you can store things all over the place in here. And eventually this will change next year as we start planting, because we missed the growing season, early growing season here, because we didn't finish it until June something. But yeah, I'd say this is an 8 or 9. Highly recommend building this. It's a DIYer. You can do it yourself. Just follow that guy's instructions and just take your time, support it wherever you can. You'll find a lot of videos on this Harbor Freight 10x12 shed on YouTube, but yes, I most certainly do recommend it. And get an exhaust fan. Whatever you do, don't think you don't need one because of the vents. Oh no, you need an exhaust fan. Thanks for watching. See you later.